Okie dokie. So, we're back for another Stradivlog. I decided I'm going to go ahead and go with that name. I didn't really have anyone say anything. Still an early channel, so there probably wasn't anyone who was willing to say anything. So, for now, and going forward, the name will be Stradivlog. If there's ever a point when I come up with a better name, or someone suggests something better, I'll go ahead and do that. So, what have I done over the last week? A couple things. First off, as you can see, not only did I get my Lightning Aura for getting 1100 ranking in real-time arena, but I also finally earned enough shape-shifting stones. So I started in April. I finally got 100 to get my first one, and I decided to go with Rakan. I just think that the way that the look, like it's nailed. They nail the look, but in addition to that, I feel like there's actually a substantial change in the graphics that they use for his abilities. Overall, it's a great change. So I've been pretty excited about that. I finished up leveling Juno, and I went ahead and bought the package for that one too. I like the aura. I'm always weird about this kind of, you know, let's see how skimpy we can put the women in the game men are. I mean, don't get me wrong, attractive ladies are great. Wearing very little, great. I don't even care what anyone thinks of that statement, right? But it's a cartoon, so it's a little weird. But that's fine. To each their own. But I like the animations. I specifically really like the healing animation for Praha and the bomb animations for Sierra. So I'm thinking at some point in the future, if I ever get it, I would like to go ahead and have those skins ready to go. So let's take a look at what I did with her for now, as far as runing goes. I wanted to try to get as much health on her as I could get. Bear in mind, I'm only a fighter rank 3, so I don't have the greatest runes, which means that spare runes are going to put her somewhere around here for health. I gave her an attack rune on 6, only because I didn't have anything else. I think preferably I would rather have gone with an HP rune, or a either an HP rune or a speed rune, or an accuracy rune. But it is what it is, and this one in particular had a huge HP percentage substat, so I decided to go ahead and go with that one in order to complete a Despair Revenge set. So exactly what you'd expect: speed on 2. I did crit rate on 4, so that I can make sure I can get up above 75. Because you want to, with her first skill, you want to make sure you're critting a lot. And then, yeah, like I said, I went with attack. And as you notice, a lot of these will have at least some amount of HP percent. What I would like to do at some point, though, is swap out and instead have mostly speed on my substats, right? And get a bunch of HP from, well, preferably it would be speed, HP, with crit rate and speed on my subs. Over time, that's what I'd like to see. And accuracy, obviously. But, for the most part, she does the job for now. I'm enjoying it. It's pretty fun. I definitely am glad to have an AoE stripper. Other than Soha, don't get me wrong, Soha's good, but Juno's is superior. The other thing that I've been noticing, so loss of cause and effect is a very cool third skill. That said, there are not many times in this game where you're going to have more than 2 harmful effects stacked on a monster at a time. Because of this, I feel like this is a weak Nat 5 ability, because it has such a small amount of time it'll be used. Now, don't get me wrong, this can make her very annoying to deal with, but I don't think it makes her hard to deal with. And if you can get what I mean between the difference between those two, you'd understand why I think this may need a rework. And I don't know how you'd make it more Nat 5-like, but it's just a thought. Yeah, I finally got Rakan's slot 4 rune maxed out. At some point, I want to switch this over to a 6-star HP rune. And then I already have a 6-star crit damage rune down there. And he has been rocking out. Literally, he has the skin for it now. And yeah, man, he's such a superb monster now. I mean, could you imagine 4 months ago saying, I'm so excited I got Rakan? So who's my next monster I'm going to work on? Well, it's really down to Brandia and Copper. So Brandia's a Nat 5, so I feel like I really should be putting work into her, right? Like, you know, the problem is she has such a weird kit, right? It doesn't fit together well. First off, she's an attacker, right? They set her up so that she is an attacker. The problem is, and YDCB actually just pulled her in, and so he talked about this and put it into words better than I could. This skill right here makes it so that she could do a lot of damage. The problem is you need to let someone else go first, and it gets hard to do that in Arena where you want them to go first, but you want to have a monster, you know, like a Galleon maybe going first, but it gets hard to time it out so you don't get cut in between. And that's not terrible. I mean, it's fine. It works, right? But in Arena, you want more of a cleave offense or a defense. Really, it would be Guild War that you would want a single target nuker for, which is fine, except for her leader skill. Not only is it Arena, but it's an HP Arena skill. So it's weird. Like, why would you give a kit that makes more sense for Guild Wars and then give her an Arena skill and make it not in any way relevant to what you would want to use her for? So it's just odd. Her second skill is kind of interesting, and this is actually what makes me think I want to use her for Raid and possibly TOA. I really am thinking Raid, because here, I mean, look at this. You couldn't ask for a better set of abilities, right? You get a weakened defense on 1. You get a attack power decrease on 2, as well as a shield, right? So it helps you survive. And then a attack that specifically hits based on the amount of debuffs that the enemy has. Now, obviously, the sleep isn't going to go unused, and you're not going to be able to use the Arena Leader skill, but man, she could hit hard. So, I am seriously considering using her for my defense, or my raid team as the attacker. Now, the problem is that would mean I'm taking someone out. And quite frankly, that would probably end up being Stella. As much as I like Stella, she doesn't... I don't know, it's hard to tell. You know, because on one hand, you're like, do you get rid of Shangfei, who is a great frontliner, who has a heal buff that he puts on people, who has his own self-cleanse, who armor breaks on 1, who has this Panda Supremacy attack, which does a significant amount of damage, and in addition to that, inflicts a whole bunch of effects, right? And is based on the damage, or on the HP of the target, right? So that's that. Or Stella, who, first off, I'd have to get her a bunch of skill ups. Second off, her attack, like, she only does damages for purposes, like, first off, I guess I have to mention she would reduce attack bar, which is nice. I mean, there's no getting around that. But in addition to that, she brands and she armor breaks. And that brand is very hard to find someone in the guild or in the raid who doesn't. Most people don't bother to carry a brand. And because of that, she's very, very useful. So I'd have to decide between those two. Now, on the other hand, the other monster I mentioned was Copper. And the reason why I'm thinking about Copper is I currently only have one Wind Nuker. And that is Lucian. Lucian's kind of a one-trick pony, though, right? You have to set up the right combination, give him an attack buff, make sure he goes first, and then let Flying Card or let Amp Magic do its work. Whereas, and granted, Copper's a one-trick pony too, but this at least gives me a second Wind Nuker to play with different scenarios. And he, you know, given that he does so much damage, and it's only if he has a high enough defense, and then the damage is based off the defense itself. So he gets, it's very important that he actually be 6-star. So he's the other one that I'm considering getting ready to 6-star, and I don't know which way to go with that. Who else do I have in here that I can play around with? I mean, really, at some point I have to do something with Reiki. These, by the way, if you see these runes like this, they're just placeholding. So she does something for World Boss. You know, Reiki at some point. And Messity doesn't really have to be leveled up. He's mostly there just to give the defense buff and make Copper be my next unit up. Tyron, I want to use for Arena. I think he would be excellent to add in there. And at some point I want to play with the Bounty Hunters. Because they're looking like good options. But at the same time, the monsters I know I have to get ready are Ran. I want to use her as my Necro monster. And I also... I'm trying to remember my entire team. I know I have Colleen, Shangfei, who's going to be used also as a damage dealer in there. Man, I can't remember who. This is why I wrote all this down, because there's no way I'll remember it otherwise. I have a terrible memory. Here we go, my Necro B10 team. So Colleen, Shangfei, Ran. Oh, that's right, Fuko and Adrian. So Fuko is the Wind Lich, right here, right? And Adrian is... Do I have him this far down? Here we go. The Fire Elven Archer. And so I have to start working on those at some point, because I need to get into Necro really badly. I'm starting to get to the point where I want to make sure I'm farming Rage runes, I want to farm Will runes, Nemesis, some Destroy, you don't need a lot of them. But those are the three that I really need to get. So I need to start working on those. So those are the projects that I have going right now. And those are what I think I'm going to get. Oh yeah, by the way, I finally decided. I ended up buying the flags for guild battles, and the reason why I chose to do that, first off, I already have a Theo, which is essentially, I mean, when you're buying Ifrits, right, that is what you buy for, that's what you're shooting for. Now, that's not to say that a Mir is useless or a Tessarian is useless. First off, Tessarian isn't necessarily needed, but there are some good uses for him. And certainly a Mir is useful, but the places where you would really want to use them, I mean, PvP is one thing, that would give me a Wind Nuker, right? And in addition to that, he's an excellent Giants B10 monster. But I already run Giants B10 at about 1.5 minutes, which for someone who's still not even doing Necro, I consider to be great. I'm fine with that. And while I would love to have Tessarian in my PvP lineup, the chances are only 1 in 3 that I would get him. Whereas instead, I was able to spend, I want to say I had 3,500 guild points saved up. And so instead, I was able to get to a 5% crit damage bonus for all my monsters, a 4% HP bonus, a 4% guild battle defense bonus, and a 4% attack bonus. Now, all of these are going to be very useful for me being able to survive long term. I mean, this is what you need to compete. One individual monster is not going to make or break me. The stats, however, will. So I decided to go ahead and start working on those. And I recommend that everyone consider doing the same thing at some point or another, but you know, you really need to make those in the long run. Yeah, so that's about it. I have not started doing TOA yet. I have all of TOA to run, and so I'm going to work on that. Oh, and final thing. I decided to try the Daily Pack 1. I don't, you know, it's the best $1 per crystal, right? I think I saw that at one point. I've not worked out the math myself, but I saw someone talking about it and working out the math, and at a quick glance, it looked like it was about right. The other thing is, I wanted to see how much of a difference it feels like. Because, for the extra mana, here's the problem, is if I farm up 1,000,000 mana, right? Well, that's only about 50,000 mana. And it just doesn't feel like that's going to be a lot, right? For 1,000,000, it doesn't feel like that's going to make a huge difference. But that is still technically a single rune crafting per 1,000,000 for free, right? Well, not for free, but for the $5 I paid for 15 days. So it's hard to tell, but it might be worth it. Yeah, so that's about it. I will check back in with you guys next week. I should have TOA done. And I suspect I will have chosen between Brandia and Copper who's getting moved into the big leagues by next week, because I am in the middle of using up a XP bonus right now, and I'm about ready to 6-star something, so I have that decision to make. Alright guys, well, feel free to tell me your story about what you've been doing, or comment on anything I'm doing. If you have any suggestions, I'm always happy to hear them. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.